Dear children, in this module, we are going to learn about the human neural system. The human neural system is divided into that is central neural system, that is CNS, and the peripheral neural system, that is PNS. So it is mainly broadly divided to the CNS and the PNS. CNS stands for central neural system and PNS stands for peripheral neural system. Again, the CNS is divided to brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral neural system is divided to somatic neural system and autonomic neural system. So let us learn about the brain first, that is the first part of the central neural system. It is provided by a cranial cavity. We know it is provided by, the brain is provided by a cranial cavity. And it has a three-layered connective tissue cover membranes, and these are called as a cranial meninges. There are three layers of meninges. They are the outer dura mater. This is the outer dura mater, middle arachnoid membrane, and the inner pia mater. So three cranial meninges are outer dura mater, middle arachnoid mater, and inner pia mater. The space between, that is the subarachnoid space, that is space between the pia mater and the arachnoid mater. The space between the pia mater and arachnoid mater is filled with a cerebrospinal fluid, and this space is called as a subarachnoid space. And the brain has three main divisions, namely the forebrain, the midbrain, and hindbrain. The three parts of the brain are forebrain, which is always called as the prosencephalon. This is the forebrain. Then the midbrain, which is called as the mesencephalon. This is the midbrain. And the hindbrain, which is called as a rhombencephalon. So three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So let us learn about the forebrain, that is the prosencephalon. It is the anterior part. It is the anterior part of the brain, and it is made up of three main parts. Again, the forebrain is made up of three main parts: the cerebellum, the diencephalon. It is made up of the cerebellum and the diencephalon, which is in turn made up of the thalamus and the hypothalamus. What is the cerebrum? It is the largest part of the brain, and it has two cerebral hemispheres, just like this. This is the two cerebral hemispheres, the left and the right, which are held together by a tract of nerve fibers. They are held together by a tract of nerve fibers, which is called as the corpus callosum. This is the corpus callosum, which is holding together the right hemispheres and the left hemispheres of the cerebrum. So corpus callosum is a tract of nerve fibers connecting the two cerebral hemispheres. The outer part of the cerebrum is called as a cerebral cortex, and this cortex region of the cerebrum is having greater amount of convolutions, ups and downs, convolutions and depressions, and this forms the gray matter. If you can see, these are the convolutions. These are the convolutions of the cerebral and depressions of the cerebral cortex, and the outer region forms the gray matter and the inner region forms the white matter. The gray matter, it is due to the presence of the non-myelinated axons. And why it is having green color? Because of the presence of cell bodies of the neuron. And the inner part is white matter. This inner part, we can see it is white matter, and it is having the myelinated axons. The function of the cerebral cortex, it consists of motor areas which controls the voluntary movements of the muscles, all the muscle activities which is being done according to our will. Then it is having sensory areas which controls the functioning of the sense organs. In addition to the motor areas which controls the voluntary muscular movements and the sensory areas which controls the sense organs, there are association areas. It is neither clearly sensory nor clearly motor in function. It is responsible for intersensory associations within the brain, intersensory associations, memory and communication. So within the cerebral cortex, there are three regions: the motor area, the sensory area, and the association areas. It integrates activities of different centers of the cerebral cortex, which controls the intelligence, memory, judgment, learning, thinking, and articulate speech. That's why the cerebrum is called as the thinking part of the brain. It's the largest part and the thinking part of the brain because it integrates activities of different centers of the cerebral cortex. That is the motor area, sensory area, and association areas, and controls intelligence, memory, judgment, learning, thinking, and articulate speech. Then the second part of the forebrain is the diencephalon, which is made up of thalamus and hypothalamus. The thalamus is a structure around which this is the thalamus region. You can see the thalamus region, okay, which is wrapped by the cerebrum. Okay, and it is a coordinating center, that is a relay station for sensory and motor impulses. It connects together the sensory and motor impulses. Next is the hypothalamus, which is also a part of the diencephalon. It is seen just below the thalamus. If this is the thalamus, this is the hypothalamus. This is the hypothalamus, and it regulates temperature, thirst, hunger, and emotions. It secretes hypothalamic hormones, which are very important for the endocrine functioning of the body, and controls the pituitary glands. That is, the pituitary gland, which is called as a master gland, is under the control of the hypothalamus. It also controls sleep, wakefulness, blood pressure, heart rate. So these are the different functions performed by the hypothalamus. Within the cerebrum, there is another region which is called as a limbic system or limbic lobe. Let us learn how it is formed. The internal parts of the cerebral hemispheres and a group of associated deep structures like amygdala, this is the amygdala, the hippocampus and hypothalamus. These three regions, along with the inner parts of the cerebral hemispheres, they form the limbic system or the limbic lobe. What is the function of limbic system? It regulates sexual behavior. It also regulates motivations, emotions like excitement, pleasure, rage, and fear. So thus, we have come to an end of the forebrain called as a prosencephalon, which is divided into cerebrum, diencephalon. The diencephalon is again divided into the thalamus and hypothalamus. And we also learned the functions performed by the different regions of the forebrain. Thank you.